It's my job. It's my responsibility. A man is supposed to take care of his family. You live in my house, fill your belly with my food, put your behind on my bed because you're my son.
We back, man.
Because I like you, because it's my duty to take care of you. I owe a responsibility to you.
Yeah. We got the boy Trav in the building, Showtime.
Before I go along any further, I ain't got to like you.
Let Denzel talk.
Mr. Rand don't give me my money. Come payday because he like me. He give it to me because he owe me.
Yeah.
Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life. Now, don't you go through life worrying about whether somebody like you or not. You best be making sure they're doing right by you. You understand what I'm saying?
Talk to him, Showtime. Yeah. Talk to him. Talk to him. Reinvention on my mind, we gotta go and get it. Reinvention on my mind, we gotta go and get it. Yeah. And we brought the witness. Flight was delayed. Get him another ticket. This is God's word. We on a golly mission. We talking reinvention. We talking bigger picture. Go get it, Kenny. Come on.
What? I said, look. I said, Mr. Reinvention, I turned my life over to God, now I'm reinvented. We making moves off this podcast that we invented. Me, she, and Trav, you know we be relentless. 7 years in the game, now you know.
Yeah, you good.
Check it.
Reinvention on my mind, we gotta go and get it. Reinvention on my mind, we gotta go and get it. Come on. Yeah.
Look, this isn't just a podcast, this is motivation. They be like, Reds training who? I just know they hating. We ain't being patient, cause that mean that we be waiting. We just seeing greatness, I don't want it if it's painless. But that's in the past tense. Since I put the weed down, I've been snapping. Always had the tools to make it happen. Whether it was playing ball or in rapping. Wasn't one box, these can have me trapped in. The cycle of a black man, I'm just trying to break it. All by myself, with them L's, I had to face it. Life is what you make it, you can't let nobody take it. Gotta watch out for them things. Stack your bread, don't say complacent. God's gift.
Welcome back to Showtime Speaks, Season 4. Bringing ideas, bringing dreams, we bringing it all to life. And you know what we gotta do, Kenny? 3, 2, 1, come on! Come on, man, we back in the building, man. Back with the energy, back with the new vibes. And guess what? We got a little surprise for you guys, man. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes,
but
sir.
before we get to the guest, what's going on, Kenny? What's up, bro?
What's up, my boy? How you doing, man? How you doing? It's a lot of good energy in the building today.
I mean,
man.
I'm talking about some great energy.
Great energy in here.
I mean, the aura, the energy, the everything is just to a high level right now.
A lot of greatness.
And I'm extremely, extremely excited to be back on Showtime Speaks, bro.
Me too, bro.
What's going on in your world, bro?
Good, man. Last week was a good episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we've been talking about getting outside our comfort zones and put my feelings out for the world to see was definitely a next step for me.
Yeah.
And it was good, bro. It was good to put that out there. I had a lot of good feedback.
Yeah, feedback,
A lot of good people reaching out to me, and hopefully that inspired the next person to find their journey in God.
1,000%, bro.
To take the next steps.
I think you truly did, bro. I think it truly did, bro. I think you did something that really opened up the gate for everything that we're trying to bring on Showtime Speaks, bro. And when we talk about reinventing ourselves, bro, like this is, like I said, man, this next guest that we're going to have come on the show, man, he's the reinvention expert. You feel me? And, I can't wait for you guys to really, really be introduced to him. But before we introduce him, you already know what we got to do. Big shout out to the sponsor, the jeweler that keeps on giving, the jeweler that keeps us cool. Oops, I meant cozy.
Stop playing with them, man. Stop playing. Hey, the holidays is coming up.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show this every time, you know what I mean? Get that custom piece. Got that Reds piece with the diamonds in the R and all that.
Come on
so
now.
go check my guy Cozy out whenever you can.
Yeah.
And holla at him.
Yeah, Christmas is coming up. Listen, man, he's only a DM away. Do what you got to do to make it happen, man.
And don't forget to tell him Showtime Speaks sent him too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
come on, man. Let's go, man. Let's go right into the introduction, man. Let's introduce Mr. Travis Wallace himself, personal coach, trainer, motivational speaker, graduate from North Florida, master's degree at VCU. I mean, you can go on and on about who this guy is, man. The reinvention expert. What's up, man? How you doing, bro?
Man, I appreciate you having me. I'm doing
man.
well.
Man, let's dive right into it right off the get-go, man. If anybody doesn't know who you are, what would you say to the people, man?
I think you said it best, man. I classify myself as a reinvention expert.
Yeah.
I've been through, many trials and tribulations in my life. I'm pretty sure we'll speak on that. And I'm just a person that's extremely passionate about reinventing others. And I just use my, my past experience of working in the NBA with the NBA champion and using those skills that I've learned to help people fall back in love with themselves.
Man.
Yeah, man. And just to piggyback off that, man, before we even get all the way started, I just wanted to give my guy his flowers. I spoke about him in the first episode when you asked me about him and Kyle. And I just want to say, bro, I appreciate you for coming. There's not many people out here who, we was talking about this earlier, who just give free game and genuine. And from the minute I met you, man, like, I don't really have mentors, bro. And even though we close in age, bro, I really look at you as one of my mentors now, where somebody I can call and, ask for advice and, just ask for help anytime. And there's not many people in my life that I could do that ask for, and I just want to say I appreciate you, bro.
Whatever, baby.
Seriously, for real.
Nah, man, it's definitely love to have you on the show, man. Flew in all the way from, Miami. We had a little mishap early in the week with the flight situation, but you can't stop what God is trying to bring, and I'm excited and happy and thankful that you're here too, bro. My first question to you is, when it comes to your profession, there's a kid who wants to walk in the same shoes as you. What kind of advice would you give him to walk down the path that you've walked down and being a trainer, being a pro, because you were a pro at one time too. What would you tell that kid, that's trying to be in your position?
I think I always start off with belief.
Yeah.
Without believing you can do anything, you're pretty much proving yourself if you can or you cannot.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it all begins from. Like, where I'm at right now and the things I'm doing right now, I've all visualized. Everything that's happening, I've visualized it happening, So whether it's training NBA players or it's reinventing people all around the world, I go there in the mind first before it physically happens.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, and if you want to go down the same steps I went through, you have to visualize it first.
Yeah.
First thing that has to happen. And so whatever that may be for you, if you can't see it inside your mind, it'll never happen.
I like that.
And can you just talk about how'd you get to this point, bro? Like, can you talk about the steps? It didn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? I know you was a GA. Can you talk about that experience and how it came to be where you are at now?
So once I finished playing college basketball in North Florida, I went to play professionally in Slovakia and Finland. And I was at the point, and I'm like, man, I'm not making life-changing money, man. I'm living in a third world country. Like, it just wasn't what you thought it was, You can be putting up numbers at a small Division I. You don't understand that, like, there's a million people doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So end up in Europe, and I'm like, man, like, this ain't really it. Like, this ain't, I was like, God was like, this is not your calling, So I ended up going to grad school, becoming a GA at VCU, which is a big time basketball program, and was just like, when I first got there, I was a basketball GA. I wasn't even a strength coach GA. But I was always the first person in there in the morning, lifting weights. That's just who I was. And the head coach came to me and was like, you ever thought about being a strength and conditioning GA? And I'm like, nah, man, I used to hate that dude, man. Like, ain't no way, man.
Right,
like, that dude yelling at people in the morning, all this fake energy. Like, I ain't him. He's like, listen, you'll kill it. Just try it. So the second year as a GA, I became the strength and conditioning GA for VCU. And it was like the best thing that ever happened to me because, I mean, once you find your passion and you really, really love doing it, that's like the cheat code to get to wherever you want to get to. A lot of people do stuff that they aren't passionate about, so you can never give it your all.
Wow.
So became a GA. Actually took an internship after that. Like I kind of went backwards. At that time, I didn't feel like I was ready to like lead a team or something like that. So I went to University of Central Florida. I was an intern there for a summer. But let me tell you about this summer. The summer's so big time because I put myself in a position where I wasn't going to get a college job. It was NBA or bust. But that was on my mind. I was like, I'm going to go to Central Florida. I'm going to be next to Orlando Magic. And this is where they was having Summer League. It's when Summer League was in Orlando. So I was like, okay, cool. Every day after my internship, I'm going to go to Orlando Magic. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to watch Summer League. Long story short, I meet the strength coach. Meet the strength coach, start rubbing shoulders with the strength coach. Shout out to Bill Burgos. He's actually D'Angelo Russell's personal strength coach now. And just rubbing shoulders with him. And long story short, they end up offering me a job with the Osceola Magic, the Lakeland Magic. The Osceola now, but it's Lakeland back then. They had just built the G League team. He said, listen, man, like, I want you to be the head strength coach for the G League team. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm thinking about it. I'm going through the interview process. I knew I was going to get he was going to offer me. We built that relationship. But at the time, the guy I was working for was close friends with the guy who was a strength coach at Villanova. Which is now Russell Wilson's strength coach. His name's John Shackleton. And he was like, hey man, like Kyle Lowry comes in here every summer and like he wants his own personal guy.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, listen, man, I got this 25-year-old dude. He's here the first person here, and he's the last person to leave. Shout out to my man Alex Parr. He's like the last person to leave and things like that. And he's always like turning the dumbbells up to make sure they're right. I'm always cleaning. I'm doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So one day he pulled me in his office. He's like, listen, man, I don't know what this is about, but he's like, yo, Kyle Lowry's looking for his own strength coach. And this is when Kyle's like, he was like a 3-time All-Star at the time. Like, I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, man, you got to move to Toronto and you be a strength coach. And ever since then, you know, that's what happened. But the biggest thing about this story is like, I put myself in a position to receive it. You know, I put myself in a position to receive it. And you know, and I'm one of those guys, like, you got to treat everything as if it's your Alabama.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think a lot of people get places like, well, I'm not here yet, or I'm not there yet. It's like, well, you have to treat it like that so you can get there. And once you get there, you know, everything kind of, you know, it's pretty much normal for you.
1,000%.
So at 25, did you feel like you were ready for that role, or?
Nah. I drove from Atlanta to Toronto, packed my car up. Driving to Toronto. He's playing for the Toronto Raptors. Pulled up, went through customs. They're like, yo, why is all this stuff in your car?
Customs crazy.
I'm like, well, there's this player, he wants me to train him. Like, they're like, so you working? I was like, well, nah. I was like, my mom in the car, like, I told you. So we pulled over. They took everything out of the car. Obviously, everything was cool. They took everything out of the car, bro.
That's crazy.
I had shoe boxes. I'm moving here. You ain't supposed to do that.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm moving to Canada.
You got to have your working, but you got to have all that.
I have everything. But I didn't feel like I was ready. But it was just like, man, like this opportunity is a once in a lifetime, man. Like it's a once in a lifetime. And I took it. And that was 2016. And we had about to be 2025. And I'm still rocking together.
Man, that's love, man.
Man, like that story, you talk about putting yourself in position for certain things. I think that is so critical when it comes to like reaching full like your full potential and success. And when you talk about those small attributes that you have to implement before you became who you was supposed to be, you was already practicing those things.
100%.
Some of the most brilliant minds that I've been around always said, I was a millionaire before I was a millionaire.
100%.
I adapted this behavior before I got what I was supposed to have. Even when it comes to Showtime Speaks, we're not where we want to be at financially. We're not where we want to be at, but we on our way. You look at the setup, you look at how we doing things, like this is it's top tier. And before we get there, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so prevalent that when you're trying to be successful, these are the steps that you have to take for you to, reach full, your full potential.
And one thing I want to say about that, I think life treats it like that. Like it's gonna see if you're ready or if you're ready for what you're trying to go after. Like if you can't handle this stage where the financial situation may not be where you want it to be or X, Y, and Z, how are you gonna handle when you get it? So like I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, like, from a different aspect of like, I treated Central Florida internship where I was training basketball, women's tennis, women's soccer. I treated them like they were Kyle Lowry without even knowing. So the face changed, but the habits and they remain the same.
Yeah. That's what's up, man.
That's I wish I could find a come on button on here. I don't know where it is, but that's a come on moment right there. When we talk about, the reinvention, right? And I know, that's what you do. And I've searched your page and I went through the whole thing and I've seen how you reinvent people. And I know me and Kenny right now, we trying to work on reinventing ourselves.
Real right. I be looking at my man there, I'm like, damn, I gotta
listen, we gotta get back to our 2021 form. Man, we was in our bag that year, so we might be taking some tips, and so we might need that program from you when you leave, man. But when we talk about reinvention, like what's the first step? What's the first step that everybody needs to know when it comes to reinventing themselves?
First step is always acknowledging that you have so much room to grow. Like a lot of people are in a certain position in their life and they think that like, I'm maximizing everything. And until you look yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, is this all I got? Not from a physical standpoint. The reason that we take a physical standpoint, because that's the first thing I can show you. If I change your body completely, your mind had to change. Your habits had to change. There's no way that your body can change and you was the same person. So that's just a vehicle. But the first thing is acknowledging that somebody may know something more than you and can help you with it. So what I want people to do is take that and go use that with whatever they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I reinvented you and you invested in yourself, you invested in your money, I want you to take that and be like, you know what? If I invest in somebody who's like #1 in the world at doing podcasts, he might teach me something that I don't know, which will help me. So it's like, I want them to take that approach. Like, they're coming to somebody who's an expert at reinventing people. And if you take that mindset, you invest in yourself, you trusted yourself. More than anything, it's not even trusting me. It's you have to trust yourself. And once they do that, the floodgates open up, because that's what it is. You have to invest in yourself if you're trying to get somewhere new.
So taking a step back from that, how'd you even come up with this model? Like, how'd you come up with the reinvention? Like, did it come with yourself? Did you start with yourself first? Then it just, you transferred to other people? Like, how'd you come up with the reinvention? I need to reinvent myself.
So now we're about to get deep.
Come on.
You just press the button. So there's 3 things in my life that have happened to me, right? That have really, really, like, I'm gonna speak on them. And I've never understood what have happened in the midst of it. So when I was 6, my father went to prison for life. He went to prison in Massachusetts for a life sentence for murder, right? 6 years old. I don't understand. I just know my dad's away. Like, I know I'm going to visit him in prison, things like that. But I didn't understand that when a major life event happens to you, you start to change. You know, now I'm the man of the house. I'm quote unquote reinventing myself, but I don't understand it at the time. Second thing that happened, we just spoke on, basketball player the entire time. Like, you know, I'm this and I'm that. You go to Europe and you're like, yo, it's not what you think it is. Now you come back home. I'm working at Home Depot. And I'm like, I'm miserable because I don't even know who I am. I think that's the one thing that athletes have to understand. Like, your whole life, you're this player. You're this, you're that. And like, you really have no identity. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody takes that away from you, it's like, who am I? So like, that was another time where I had to reinvent myself. I remember being at Home Depot with a hood on because I'm at my local Home Depot, bro. I'm like, yo, like, they gonna be like, I went to high school over here. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like we moved. This is the Home Depot that I went to high school. This is where it's at. And I'm in the lumber department. I'm like, yo, what happened? So like, that's how like we talked about the gym. That's how like it became a thing, because like that was the only place I would go to. And I felt like nothing really mattered. You know what I'm saying? It's like I walked through that door for that hour. It's like, oh man, like I'm just getting to it. You know what I'm saying? And when I walk back out, okay, I'll pick my baggage up. I'll pick, you know, where I'm going on. And the most recent thing that happened when I was 3 years ago, I got married. I don't know if we ever talked about this, but I got married and I had an annulment. I was only married for like probably 40 days. Dang. So long story short, met somebody, we dated for about 8 months. But when the transition happened, when Kyle was about to go play in Miami, she wasn't going to go unless we were married. Religion, all types of things. It was in that. She wasn't going to go. So me being the person I am and thinking I'm doing the right thing, I'm like, you know, just get married. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll figure it out. And which I was completely wrong was I was thinking I could figure it out as I was married. So I'm like, all right, boom. So now let's think like this. I'm a black man who's trying to be this guy that he never had. So now I got these people at this wedding and like I'm boo-hooing at the wedding, but it's not people thinking I'm crying because I'm married. I'm just like, yo, I'm trying so hard to be the dude I never had. I never had. I want to be him so bad. So then, long story short, we came to Philly for a little bit, and I just like, yo, it's not working. Like, this is not what I want. But the biggest thing about it is like, yo, imagine 2 families that you got to kind of look in the face and be like, yo, I know you just went to a wedding 6 weeks ago, but it's over. So people text you, oh, how's the married life? It's like,
I'm struggling.
So for 2 years, man, I just kind of like it was more of just like, how could you do that to somebody? Like, that's not you. Like, that's just not you. So long story short, I, get myself back together and start building myself. I'm like, yo, what did I do? What did I do in the midst of all this when I had all these trials and tribulations going on? And I'm still training Kyle. I'm traveling the world. I'm PJing, but I'm dead inside. I'm dead, bro. I am dead. As a picture, I'm going to show you guys. Like after this, like you can see me. I posted it one day. I talked about the story. I'm on a jet, kicked up, got the J's on, boom, boom, boom. Eyes, he's gone. she had took the picture. I had to take a picture, so I was wearing somebody's shirt. They wanted me to take a picture. I'm on the G5, like dead. You can see it in my eyes. Dang. I posted it, I talked about it. So it was like, what did I do, man? And I just I fell back in love with myself, and I forgave myself.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the first thing. You have to forgive yourself for the things that you've done. And at the end of the day, a lot of stuff that you've done end up being your best teachers, and that's how you teach people.
Man.
So the only reason I can become a reinvention expert is because I have had to read.
Yeah.
The only way I can do it.
Yeah.
That's the only, I can't teach somebody how to do a podcast. I've never done it. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So it's like that. That's why I became so an expert at it, is because I've been through it. People ran away from the things I went straight through them. So now when you have something, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know. Yeah. I've been there.
It's so cool just to even hear that story, because I think we all three of us have our own mantra. Mine is keep going. Mm-hmm. Yours, reinvention, and Kenny's is being relentless. Mm-hmm. And like, it's inspiring, because when you say you're an expert, well, shoot, we experts too. You know, it kind of like, it's a play on words, and it's super special to even hear you even articulate that kind of emotion, talk about where you were, talk about how you got through it, and where you are now. It just all makes sense. And it's funny, man, because I did a lot of research on you and everything like that, and seeing different things and piecing certain things together, watching old interviews and stuff like that. You know, to actually hear you tell the story in person, it makes me appreciate you more, bro.
Thanks.
Because, you know, it's hard out here, especially being an athlete, especially, you know, going through a lot of what athletes go through with losing themselves, losing their identity, and not playing the game no more, and then having to really figure out who they are. I've been there. I've been in those spaces of doubt and uncertainty and feeling like the world is gone, and that's where Showtime Speaks comes into place. Boom. And, you know, finding this was my reinvention moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's super cool just to just feel those feelings and just see the big picture. I want to go into the next thing, to dive a little deeper into the business side of things. Yep. When we talk about the business, like, you have a virtual business. How do you make everything work with you doing, you know, personal training? You got this, you got that. Talk about the business side of things and how you got things rolling.
I mean, systems is everything, man. System is everything. You know, putting the time into to figure out, like, how can I cater to all these people, you know, that I have in my program. And the best thing that ever happened to me was being with Kyle and being with one person and being like, yo, I got more to give to the world, man. Like, to the world. Like, yes, this is great, but like, I feel like I'm selling myself short. So I tried to figure out, you know, like, from a business standpoint, like, yo, how can I give value to the world, you know? And that's where it came in. I took my passion. I love training people. And then I added a mental aspect to it, you know, where I can Zoom with people and I can talk to them, you know, about what they're going through. They can be extremely vulnerable. And so, yeah, man. So I would just say, like, building the right systems in place, you know, thinking about what would you want if you was in their position, and building like that.
Did you ever, like, go through my route, as in, like, train, like, the personal training, the group training classes, the, you know what I mean, that type of route too? Like, you having to be there 24/7.
So with Kyle, yes, but think about with Kyle. Think about that is not physically doing it the whole time. Okay, but being in let's say I'm in Philly. He wants to be in Philly, so now I'm in Philly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I may not physically be doing it as much as you are. But no, I did do group trainings in Miami maybe like a year ago. It was called Treat Saturday Like a Tuesday, and the idea was that I had people show up on Saturdays. It got big time in Miami, like 40, 50 people on Saturday, and I was like, yo, I want you to treat Saturday like a Tuesday. Stop doing all this stuff that you know doesn't even align you with your goals. Treat it just like any other day and watch your life change. Not at the time, I didn't realize I was reinventing people. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just like, yo, like, let's train on Saturdays. Like, but when you train on a Saturday, all of a sudden that Friday night, you like, man, I gotta go to this class in the morning. Man, he about to kill me. Man, I ain't hitting that bar, man. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. All of a sudden starts changes, which goes into preparing. When people have stuff to prepare for, they train. So that's how I take my business. Like, if I give you a deadline and, hey, in 100 days, and you listen to me, you let me coach you, your life is going to change. The problem, free game. The problem is people have nothing to prepare for. So you prepare for nothing. And now all of a sudden, life just starts passing you by.
Crazy.
So you have to give yourself something that you're fighting for, that you're scratching and clawing for to prepare for.
Drops mic. That right there, you spoke on a lot of things that we're going to probably get to. But I definitely wanted to ask you about that business side of things, because I know it's kind of hard, when you got to tell people a price, you got to tell people how to do this, you got to have a system in place.
Facts.
I mean, those things are super prevalent to running a business, and it's hard trying to balance those, the business, personal, all those different things. Did you ever find yourself like losing yourself in the business and trying to, like losing your identity in it to try to figure out, like, what am I doing? Like, how do I balance all this? Like, how do I do this? Like, what did you do to help get yourself back on track?
Hey, man, it's so funny because I'm actually making a pivot in my business for the reason you're saying. So there are so many times where people come to me, they want to be reinvented. They see the before, they see the after, they see the testimonies, and they're like, hey, I want this. And then I had to sell them on why they would want this. So I'm like, I started losing myself in that moment, because I'm like, this is not what I built this platform for. I didn't build it to sell you coaching.
Right.
So I decided, like, hey, if you're a CEO, if you're an executive, if you're a highly driven entrepreneur, those are the people I'm going to work with from now on. One-on-one, from now on, you have to be a CEO, you have to be highly driven, and you have to be executive.
Yeah.
The reason being, those people know in order to get to where they got to, they had to invest in themselves. They know how important it is. I can't sell you on that you need to invest in yourself, So I did start to lose myself with that recently, because I'm like, I'm talking to people and I'm trying to sell them on something that they already sold themselves on. That's why they contacted me. So it's like, am I a psychologist? Am I a reinvention expert? So that's a great question, because it does happen. Like you said something about prices. It's not your price that's the problem. It's what they value themselves as.
There you go. Talk to us.
That's where it all comes down to. Your price can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
If they don't value themselves in your price that can get them to where they're trying to get to, then the price the price can mean anything. It can be $5. If they don't value that as $5, if they don't see themselves as $5, they won't pay for it. So that's why, like, when it comes to pricing and whatever you're trying to price, man, like, if you're changing somebody's life, I'm undervalued off rip.
Oh my gosh.
I'm off rip.
I'm telling you, man.
It's undervalued. I'll never be able to put a real price tag
on
what I do for people.
Yes, yes. I feel the same way.
You can't.
I
said this the other day. I said, you go through my program for 100 days. I can't unteach you.
Yeah, you know it forever.
Yeah.
I can't unteach you.
Come on, man.
So it's just like you said, man, that's why I'm making that pivot, because these are people, entrepreneurs, CEOs, executives, they understand what it means to have somebody in their corner and push them and challenge them and push them, to certain levels. It's just like, I'm going to build something called a formula school where people can come into the school and they'll learn exactly how to reinvent themselves. But in terms of one-on-one access and me coaching you and me making sure you get to your goal, those are for CEOs, executives, and highly driven individuals.
Talk that talk, man.
One other question. I know for me, are you like a one-team show? Like, do you have a team that helps you with your social media, with your, of course, you probably got an accountant and stuff like that, but do you have a team that's helping you with everything, or is it just you doing everything yourself?
A lot of outsourcing. Shout out to my girlfriend, Sophia Perez. If I didn't say that, she would be like, yo, I'm behind this. I'm literally behind the scenes every single day. But right now, it's just me and her, man. And like, we'll outsource, we'll get videographers and things like that. We're going to eventually start building the team, because it is getting to bigger, that point.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about systems. I've been fortunate to have coaches in my life who've taught me how to build something a certain way where, it can keep building. And now I just got to get more people, because the more people I have, the more they come interaction with. Like, if I have somebody who lives in Philly, that he meets people that need reinvention, he already knows how to do it. So it just opens up the business more than anything.
Yeah.
No, man, that's love, man. And, as we hop into the next segment, we're going to take you down memory lane, man. We got a couple pictures, a couple videos. And this first one, man, I want you to talk about this moment, when you got your master's degree at VCU, man, and talk about what that moment meant to you. Talk about, just talk about it, man.
So when I first see this picture, man, like I said, just got my master's degree, but my brother, that's big for me, because I wanted always to blaze a trail for my younger brother. Like, I wanted to show him that like, you can do anything you want to do, but you have to put the work in. You have to take sacrifices. Like, that was the biggest thing that I take from when I first look at it, because he's 19 years old now. I know I'm that brother, like, yo, here he goes again. Here he goes telling me. But it's like, it's more of the thing, like, I'm letting you know, man, like, you can do anything you want to do.
Come on, man.
Anything you want to do. So, guys, before I go back to this, let's all sink in for a second, right? Everything's an idea. Everything. Showtime Speaks is an idea.
Yeah.
It's all an idea. So I'm trying to implement that in him. Like, me getting a master's degree was an idea that I wanted to do. So I went and did it. And then obviously my mom, trying to give her the world, and my grandma, trying to give them anything I can and show them, like, I appreciate them so much for putting me in that position. But I'm one of those brothers always trying to tell my younger brother, like, listen, man, like, everything's an idea.
Same, man. You know, and I try to, you know, me and Kenny, we got, you know, little sisters and little brothers. You know, it can be hard, man, because you're trying to set this example for them, and you hope that they can get it. You hope that they can see it. And you know, it's always been tough for me, because I've always been there for my little sisters and my little, you know, especially my mom's daughter. You know, she's getting ready to go to college. She's getting ready to, you know, take that big step. And, you know, sometimes I can't always be there. Sometimes I miss her. I miss you if you're watching the show. And I always want the best for you. But, you know, it always starts with that idea, little sis. Always remember that, you know, I'm always thinking about you. I'm always trying to think of different ways to help make you better, make us better. I just wanted to give that to you. So if you're watching the show, man, I love you. Yeah. But yeah, man, like, you know, it all starts with an idea, man. And, you know, that's special, man. We got another picture. We want to take it all the way back, man. And, you know, I look at this picture, and, you know, this is really for both you and Kenny. Yeah. You know, because, you know, I feel like this is how you and Kenny both started. You know, Kenny started his journey, and he was on the beach. I was on the beach. And he was on vacation, and he was training his brother, Torrey Smith. Yep. And then you're in this picture, you know, training Kyle Lowry, man. Just talk about this experience and how it made you feel just, you know, taking this step.
Yeah, man. So we're actually, I think it's Puerto Rico, training during the All-Star break. But this is one of those moments where I was there mentally before it even happened. Yeah. That's what I see when I see that. Like, I seen that. You know what I'm saying? So when it's happening, it's like, okay, we're here, but I've already been here, and I've been here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I take from that moment, man. It's just like, man, from being Home Depot, asking somebody like, hey, man, like, how do you want this wood cut? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but my mind was here. I'm like, man, you know, I'm a trained professional athlete, man. Like, and then it happens. And it happens. So that's what I see from that. Like, I was mentally there years ago before that picture was even taken.
So while we talking on the topic of professional athletes, like how is it for you training pros? What's the pros? And can you talk about the cons too? Like, what's the pros of training these guys at the highest level?
Always remember, a healthy way of living is the best kind of living. Always choose Bites and Blends. It's the healthiest way and the only way to win. Come on, man. Located in Dresser, PA. And don't forget to download the app. Come on, man.
The pros they got there for a reason.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the biggest things that you get to, you know, you're not forced to make them do anything that they don't want to do because they want to do it. And that's why I went the one-on-one route, because this person's paying me to be there for them rather than a school, which I've been a strength coach at places where the school's paying you. So it's school's paying you. And now you got to get this kid to do something. And he's like, I didn't ask you to be here. That's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just gave me you.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like a dynamic. I'm big on like looking at things about getting in a vehicle. Like, when I say vehicle, I mean like whatever you want to do, get in a vehicle that makes sense. If I want to work with people that want to work and are extremely passionate about it. Yeah. I can't stay in college athletics because you're going to get kids that don't want to work. They don't want to work. They're just highly talented. They was one of the best. At the end of the day, they was one of the best athletes in their county. Like, that may not have took much. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, so if I want to work with people who want to do this and so I feel good inside and they feel good, at the end of the day, you got to get to the highest level because 99% of them are there because they want the work.
What about, can you say one thing that you learned about Kyle? Like, what one lesson you learned about Kyle with working with him for the past 7 years? Like, one thing that you picked up, one habit, one anything? Because I learned a lot within the last 2 months or a month when I was with y'all. So,
best thing that I can say, I mean, I don't say the best thing, but one of the most important things, man, like for somebody to have so much. I mean, it's publicly. I mean, in contracts, he signed over $275 million worth in contracts. Yeah. Public information. And for somebody to not change lets me know it's not about any of that. So what he's helped me so much, and I tell him all the time, is like he's shown me the world. He's shown me a lot of stuff that were probably like so big of goals of mine. And I'm like, that still ain't gonna do it. Yeah. I've seen him have bad days. And I'm like, yo, we just pulled up in a roll. Like, we have a bad day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not about that. It's like, so he gave me that type of vision on it of like, it's so much more to what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Than like the things that come with it. End of the day, they get paid a lot because they're a professional athlete. They didn't pick that. It's just like this comes with it. Yeah. And he's taught me, you know what I'm saying, to be the same person every single day. And you spent time with us. He met Kenny and like he didn't act any different than he would normally act. Like he's like, yo, come train with us. Come meet my trainer. Like that's just how he is. So the biggest thing is like no matter where you go in this world, like none of that stuff means nothing. You know, it's all about what's going on in here. Yeah.
Before let's bring the video up of the training. I want like we got the environment of him. You know what I'm saying? Like getting it in.
Yeah. Cause they get it in.
Come on now.
Spain.
Yeah.
Was this 5 a.m. grind too?
Nah, this probably it don't look like 5 a.m. It's probably like 7 8. It's early though. Probably 7 8. We do a lot of 5 a.m.
Yeah, all 5 a.m. yo.
Yeah, now that's why I wanted to put the workout thing in here. 5 a.m. What's the 5 a.m. thing about?
5 a.m.
Oh yeah, that's just how we are, you know.
Is that your mentality? Is that his?
We both got it, which is crazy. We both have it. Like, I'm pulling up at 4:30. I mean, you got a little baby bumping. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. But that comes from, man, honestly, like, I want to pour into the world. And I feel like if I never pour into myself first, I have nothing for the world. So, like, that's where it all came from. Like, if I do what I need to do before most people get up, when they need me, I'm there for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. And, like, so that's why, like, you know, I'm big on reinvention. I'm telling people, like, yo, if you want to be that person, I have moms in there. I'm like, you have to, like, when you reinvent yourself, you're becoming a better parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're becoming, you poured into yourself. Now you can give more. A lot of people look at it from a selfish standpoint because I was like, yo, in 100 days, you have to be selfish. Yeah. Yo, Kenny, if Kenny hit me like, yo, can we do this? And I can't do it. Nah, it's no bad blood. It's just that, like, I'm working on myself right now.
1,000%.
And so I can be better for the world.
Yeah. I like that, man, especially with that 100-day thing, man. And what's the 100-day thing about? Like, where did you get 100 days? Because I heard it takes 21 days to build a habit, but where's the 100 days? Where is that?
I think I just got it from, and people see 90 all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, we're gonna outdo 90. Not saying we're gonna do it faster. We're just gonna give you like a big pinpoint of like everybody's doing, another 90-day transformation. Like, nah, like, man, we're going to reinvent in 100 days. You give me 100 days of you pouring into yourself, your life is going to change. And the best thing about it, if you do the math, let's say you do that 3 times, you almost a year, you're like, yo, I am a completely different person if I just took it in increments. I think, you know, that's where the 100 became so big. It was just like, yo, man, 100 days, like 100 days. You give your 100 days to yourself in anything you do, anything, your life will change.
1,000%, man. Let's go to the next thing, man. When we talk about, you know, you being a trainer and you doing what you do, you've also trained young guys, you know, preparing for the pre-draft stuff and stuff like that. We got a video of that too.
Y'all boys went deep.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I just want to hear you talk about what this means to you, this experience. You know, I'm a football guy. So I don't know what this looks like. You know, I want to hear you talk about this, man.
So yeah, 2 dudes getting ready for NBA draft. Tyrese Crump played at UGA. He's actually teammates with Anthony Edwards, and then Scrub. Actually, like, I think he's on the Celtics now. But that was when I was trying to start building that avenue of, I was at University of South Florida at the time. I was a strength coach at South Florida during this time. And I was like, my mind just started like thinking outside the box. I'm like, yo, how can I build something where like, it's not governed by, like I'm in control of it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it.
Yep.
And that's where kind of like, one of the moments where it kind of started. I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna find some kids who getting ready for the pre-draft and pour into them. Like, look, man, I know what's happening at the highest level. Mm-hmm. I know what's going on, so let me pour into them. They'll listen to you. We spoke on earlier, man. Your past experiences, that's the cheat code. You don't understand? Like everybody has the cheat code. It's their past experience
and how you formulate it.
Yeah, it's all. I call it framing. It's all framing, man. Yeah. Like you are an expert at something. You are an expert at something. Everybody's an expert at something.
It's facts.
And you are in the best position to teach somebody who is going through or trying to do what you're doing. You're an expert.
That's heavy, man.
I love it, man. For this next picture, you spoke about it earlier, and it was the group training thing. I had an opportunity to be, a coach for a gym. Shout out to Doc Strong Fitness. And I do a lot of motivational speaking. And I'm out there and I do my thing and then I leave, right? But I was able to immerse myself and be a coach and to inspire so many on a daily basis. I just want to hear you talk about, because you talked about it earlier about, the group training and what it did for you and having that opportunity. What did this mean to you to be able to teach people and get that energy going in classes, that feeling of transforming people? Like, what did this mean to you, man?
And I want to know how you built that.
When I see this picture, man, the first thing I think of is, habits. Like, I remember when I was first building it, people was like, you can't do that in Miami. Like, nobody's going to listen to you.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Why
Miami.
would they do that? But I mean, I have a picture. It was probably like my first one. It was like 5 of us in there.
Yeah.
It's like 5 of us. And what I did, which was crazy, where I filmed every class.
Yeah.
I edited it, I put it out, edited it and put it out. So some people started seeing it like, yo, like, what is this going on Saturday? Yeah. Like people were reposting it that were in the class. And, people start having FOMO. Yeah. Like, yo, like, man, I want to be a part of that. At the end of the day, people want to be a part of a community. Yeah. Like, I don't care what you say, I'm a loner. You want to be a part of a community. Yeah, you may be a loner, but you're trying to get somewhere where there may be a small percentage of people, but it's still a community. Yeah. CEOs, there's a community of you guys. It's small, but you want to be a part of something. So I kind of, put that in their head about, wanting to be a part of something, building a community, breaking habits, but not to fast forward a little bit, but this is one reason why reinvention came about, because what would happen is people would come see me for 45 minutes at a Saturday, boom, gone.
Yeah.
So I had one guy, I can't remember his name. He came in from Spain. Never forget this day. He changed my life forever. He came in from Spain because he knew somebody. He was visiting Miami. He comes to my class. After the class, he goes, so now what? I had nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing. So you just gave me 30, 40 minutes of inspiring me, making me feel like, you know what? I can become somebody. Yeah. And I'm like, he hit me with like, so now what do we do? And I had nothing. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing what I think I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing what I think. You're trying to change the world. No, you're trying to train Biscayne Boulevard. You're not trying to change the world.
Right.
That you're changing Biscayne.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it made me take a step back and being like, all right, so now what can I do? How do I frame this so anybody else in the world can do it? But without that, you can't do it. So as you're building something up, these things are all teaching moments of like, okay, this is not the way to do it, or there's a better way. Because that is reinventing 100 days.
100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the right systems and framework to do it, but that is what it is.
Hey.
Come on, man. Walk on this journey, man. Keep walking with us, man. This is by far one of my favorite episodes, man,
Thanks.
because simple fact that like when you hear somebody who is like-minded as you, somebody who has walked down the same path. And it's just like,
same here, bro.
It makes me feel like, what am I doing?
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Like, we got to turn this thing up a whole nother level, bro. Like, we right, and it's so crazy because me and Kenny, man, we've been talking about this for weeks, months, years. Yo, we're right there. We're right there.
Before we lose the train of thought, you want me to know, how close you are? You may be one decision away.
Come on, man.
One person away.
Come on.
One lunch away. Like, that's my thing I try to tell people. You are literally one episode away. That's the crazy thing about it. So it's like,
yo,
I tell people all that, like, they're like, yo, I'm trying to reinvent myself. I'm like, yo, honestly, you're one button away. You're one push of away. Like, you sign up, boom.
Yeah.
So it's like, at the end of the day, man, like, you're always closer than you think. Like, it looks so big. It looks like
or so
it's
far away.
so far away. It looks so far away. It's like the gap is not as big as you think.
Yeah.
It's like you're one decision away. You're one video away.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Talking about the videos, were you ever in like a space where like you wasn't posting and you was kind of in your head about it, or you know what I mean? Like, how'd you get
100%.
over? Me and she be talking. How'd you get over the emotional side of that and just like, all right, I'm every day because you consistent. Every morning I wake up. You know what I mean? And I want you to talk about also, not to get off topic, your non-negotiables too.
Yeah.
Beat the alarm. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Beat the alarm, win the alarm, win the workout, win the meal, win the battle against my ego, and win the decision to be the best version of myself.
Boom. Yeah. Every day this dude is, I'm like, damn, I gotta step it up. But how did you get over that? And that's the first part. Talk about the second part next.
First part.
Yeah.
How did I get over like picking the phone up and like
and
all
just
these
like,
videos?
yeah.
So what's your goal? I'm asking you, what's your goal? Just like general, what are you trying to do for people?
Push them to the next level. Get them to the next level.
So if you don't do that, are you going away from what you're trying to do?
Exactly.
It's that simple.
That's crazy.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I promise you.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? All right, I want to reinvent people. I want people to, feel better about themselves. I want to change the way they look. I want to. It's literally, it sounds so crazy.
But Trav, before you even go, the crazy thing is, Kenny said to me back in 2018, you so motivational. Pick up that phone and talking to it. The same advice he gave me is the same advice he's got to take too. So it's just kind of cool to kind of like recircle this whole thing and hear you say that. It is crazy because it is just that simple.
What are you trying to do?
Man.
What are you trying to do? Like,
that's cool, man.
I promise you, once you look at it like that, man, like I'm just doing what I'm trying to do.
Right.
So if I don't do that, I'm not doing what I'm trying to do. So goes back to what you're saying about the 5 non-negotiables. That's how it goes into play. So win the alarm. And like I said, I always get free value. So the first time somebody sees, when they wake up, they usually see my non-negotiables. Now, when you have clients like me that I want them to succeed, I constantly do stuff not for me. It's for them. So the person who's not in my program is like, oh, here he goes again. It ain't for you.
Yeah.
It ain't for you.
It's not the audience.
I need this person to succeed. So they're gonna see, I won my alarm. I didn't sleep in. I didn't press snooze, which means I didn't go out last night. I didn't party. The things that people are dealing with in my program, I'm showing them I'm walking the same path with you. All right. So number 2, win the meal. I'm macros. I know exactly what's going in my body. I know to the number, to the T. I can tell you exactly what I'm about to eat. It's not about, it's just like, if you know what can make your body look a certain way, you can get to the best of your ability. By you not doing that, it's saying, I don't want the best. It's a way of looking at it. I'm not telling everybody, go count your macros. But if there's a way that you can guarantee you, why wouldn't you do it? So it's more of a mindset. If I know something can help me, I'm going to go indulge in it. 3, win the workout. Win the workout is obviously training, but win the workout is not always go to the gym and throw 315 around. Nah, win the workout could be meditation. It could be going for a walk. It can just be pouring into yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like having yourself just feel like, I gave myself some time. Yoga. And win the workout doesn't mean that. This is yours. We talked about the video. Win the battle against my ego. If I won't pick up the phone, who am I trying? Like, that's my ego not letting me do it.
Yeah.
That's my ego.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's your ego. This person's going to say this. This person's going to say that. They need to hear it anyway. There's a button, right? There's a button where it says follow. You can click it and you'll never see me again.
Yeah.
Never again.
It's that easy. So it's just like, that's what it is. Like, there's a button for you to never hear me speak again if you don't want to hear me speak.
Come on,
so
man.
that is all that is ego, man. You have to win the battle against your ego if you're trying to help people. If your ego is constantly winning while you're trying to help people, you will help nobody. And you won't even help Kenny. And you think you're helping him, and you're literally destroying him because you won't let the ego get in the way. And the fifth one is win the decision to be the best version of myself. And if I take care of all four of those, no matter what happens in the day, I can lay my head at night and be like, you know what? I didn't sleep in. I worked out. I poured into myself. I won my meals. I didn't eat things that I knew I shouldn't put in my body. And then when it came to the ego, I won the battle against my ego, which you may not win every day, but you're trying. You got to have some ego. Ego's how how you get to certain levels. You have to have some ego in you, but you have to win the battle. Like your ego's going to tell you, hey, let's not do this. Let's not do that. And when you know this is going to help somebody.
I like that, man. And as we go into the next thing, our last video that we have, this one, means a lot to me because I've been here before in these rooms, in these classrooms. This is you when it comes to motivational speaking, when it comes to you speaking to the kids, man.
What does that mean? Secure something out. Secure something. Go after something. Chase something. All great answers. Any other answer? All right, so an effort to attain and overtake or capture something, right? Just like you guys said. But in order to pursue something, we know you gotta attain it. Attain means that's mine. I have it. Overtake, I got it. It's in my possession. Capture, you can't half capture something, right? You either have it or you don't. But this word right here is effort, right? Is it a big effort, low effort? It doesn't tell you when it comes to pursuit. It doesn't tell you that, right?
Man.
It just tells you that you're gonna need a type of effort to attain, overtake, or capture something. Like an effort isn't.
Talk about this, man. Being in those rooms with those kids, expressing your truth, expressing that mindset and what it means to you to be in those rooms, standing up in front of them.
Is that actually that one was actually my high school. That's where I played it. That was my coach. And, you always want to do something that you wish somebody would have told you at a certain time.
Facts.
Now, if you talk to 20 kids, only one kid grasped it, you won. You won. Because we all were the kid that here comes the old head, the former dude who played here 15 years ago talking. But as long as one dude captures what I'm trying to tell him, I won. And those were those moments. Like, I know there's somebody in here that's just like, what do I need to be thinking? How do I get better? Like, and like I was talking about effort. Like that takes no skill, man. It takes no skill to do certain things that is just like, you have to try. And so yeah, that was that moment, man. Just like pouring into the youth because, I don't care what happens in my life. I'll always pour into the youth, man, because I think that's they're the next generation up.
Yeah, 100%.
I love that, man. As we go into the next segment, we're going to cut it a little, but we have like a couple of phrases and a couple of quotes that, just want to kind of, talk about, see what your thoughts are. This is something that we kind of talked about in prior episodes and kind of things that I've been through, kind of things that Kenny have been through, and want to hear your thoughts about it. This first quote is, you do everything right and it still might not work out. When you hear that, how does that make you feel?
I think it's a teaching moment, man. Teaching moment at all times. Like, you can do everything right and it still not work out, which is teaching you and building you up to win for when it does work out.
Yeah.
50 Cent said it best, man.
Yeah.
Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Like, that's why we enjoy certain things, because we've overcame trials and tribulations of things not going the way we wanted to. If everything felt great and everything went the way we wouldn't care as much.
Nah, you right.
So when you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and it's still not working out, but that moment it does, you're not thinking about, oh my God, it happened. You're gonna look back and be like, I remember all the times I was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm shutting it down, man. Like, I'm on my last dollar or whatever it is. I'm done. But like, that's the moment. Those are the times it's building for you to enjoy when you actually do get what you're trying to get.
1000%, man. It's crazy because like those are the times where the best version of you is being built.
Yes, sir.
And great things are about to happen. This last one, because I want to get to the keep going segment at the end. This last one, this is something that, I had to do. I think is, super prevalent to everybody else. Just the last one, Matt, when it comes to are you asking for help? And, you know, I think a lot of us, you know, kind of deal with these things of going through depression, going through having anxiety, going through certain things. And I expressed, you know, earlier, you know, in a couple of episodes before, talking about how I went and saw a therapist. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So when you see this, are you asking for help? You know, what does that say to you?
Vulnerable, you know, giving yourself a chance to succeed.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in a position where you can look yourself in the mirror and truly want to grow. Especially, you know, as a black man, man, it's one of the hardest things for us to do, man, because we're so big on like, I got this. I got this. I know I can do this. And sometimes it's like, you've never been through it. So why not, you know, reach out to somebody who has some experience on it and be okay with that. But once again,
ego. As we hop into this last segment, we call this the Keep Going segment, bro. And we like to end every episode when we have our guests come on the show. And basically the Keep Going segment is basically you describing a time in your life where you had to pick it all back up, where you went through something where you had to push through, it challenged you, it hurt you, and it almost broke you. But you're still here today to keep going. Talk about it.
Kind of spoke on it a little bit, but I said 3 years ago, man. And when I had an annulment, and it's so much deeper than just having an annulment and be like, oh yeah, like wipe my hands clean. It was so much stemming from not being the person I thought I was. So now I'm thinking I'm letting my family down. Like, oh, you're just another statistic. You know what I'm saying? We're not realizing that like my family just wants the best for me. They want me to be happy. And I had to make a decision. I said, listen, I stay in this and I be classified as somebody who, you know, stays in a marriage and is miserable for 30 years and lives that life. Or, you know, I give myself a chance to keep going, you know, to build myself back up. And sometimes you gotta knock yourself down, man, just to give yourself a chance to wipe your pants off. Like so many people don't knock themselves down. They just stumble away. It's like, yo, take the hit, take the knockout, take it, just take it. And then once you get up, you wipe yourself off, man. And that's where you start to build, like you said, those moments where like, you know, I can do this. I can overcome this. And the more you overcome and the more you keep going, that allows you to help other people to keep going and get back up. But if you never got back up, if you never fell before, you can't help somebody. You can't help somebody. So I think that's my moment is like letting a family down, letting like her family down, feeling like I'm just another dude that, you know, made the same mistake. And it was just like, honestly, as I look back, I hope that was the best moment for her because it gives her a new life. And now it was the best moment for me. It is because now I have a new life. And now when people go through certain situations, it's not over. You know, you can always reinvent yourself.
Man, just want to spend this time just like thanking you for coming on to the show, man. Expressing, opening up, talking about certain things, your dad being gone, you reinventing yourself over everything that you've been through, talking about being an expert, but being an expert is what you went through and what made you who you are. And you created this mindset that you can be who you want to be if you stay consistent, if you keep going. And it's just it's an honor, it's a privilege to have you on the show, man. And we thank you for coming, bro.
Yes, appreciate you, bro.
No doubt, man. Yes, and as we come to closing remarks, man, continue to walk on this journey with us. Continue to be with us. Continue. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. You know, we're building something special. And, you know, I'm just super excited to keep building with you guys. And you already know it's always going to be Showtime Speaks.
What's the matter with you? There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.